church and everyone that is close to me that God has placed under me to lead, I don't see them as just an outsider. So I'm not looking at, oh, it's just one member of the church. No. Because I'm going to stand in the presence of God and God is going to ask me, what did you do with that life? So if I know that I'm going to be held accountable, if I'm going to be held accountable for your life, guess what? You too, you are going to be, God is going to hold you accountable for, are you present when you are supposed to be present? So just as I am going to be accountable when I stand in the presence of God, when He asks me, how did you train those people? God is going to ask you, were you there to be trained? So it's not a one-way thing, it's two ways. So that is why I said we all have to get to a place whereby we have a closer relationship. Because we don't want anyone to fall as prey to the enemy. So if you look at 1 Peter chapter 5, I'm going to start from verse 6. 1 Peter chapter 5 from verse 6. So be content with who you are. I'm reading the Message Bible, so you can follow along with me with what you're reading, because this I want to throw you off, but just follow along. It's the same thing. Be content with who you are. Don't put on airs. God's strong hand is on you. It will promote you at the right time. Live carefree before God. He is most careful with you. Keep a cool head. Stay alert. The devil is poised to pounce and will like nothing better than to catch you napping. Keep your guard up. You are not the only ones plugged into these hard times. The devil, maybe your Bible says, the devil is prowling around looking for whom he may devour. He's looking for prey. And just like a lion, just like I said, if you watch the Animal Channel, just like the lion will spot a deer that is not with the family and it goes after the deer, that is the same way the devil acts. The moment he sees a Christian as drawn back from fellowship, he goes after the Christian. The moment he realizes that a Christian is now by themselves, he goes after them. And you cannot do much when you are by yourself, when you're a Christian. Living a Christian life, God did not want us to live it as a solo life. Just as there is no one that shows up on the face of the earth without a family. Or have you seen anyone that just showed up and doesn't have a dad or a mom? Even Jesus had a mom. So nobody just showed up on the face of the earth without a family. Why? Because everybody must belong somewhere. And the family that you belong to, you are accountable to them. I'm accountable to you, you are accountable to me. You can come in and ask me questions. If you see me do some things that you don't understand, because we are in the family, you can walk up to me and say, Pastor Bodhi, I want to ask you, why did you do this? And me being the pastor, I shouldn't shut you up. I should be able to explain to you why I did what I did. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why? Because that is what family is. I've heard it said so many times that it's not good for a child to ask the parent why, and the father or the mother answer because I said so. Have that ever happened to you? You went to your mom or your dad and she said don't do something, and you asked her why, or you asked him why, and the answer she gave you was because I said so. Kids need explanation for them to understand things. So also it is when it comes to us living as a Christian. We need to understand things. So if I ask you a question, I need you to explain to me. If you ask me a question, I'm going to explain to you. Why? Because we are both responsible to make this work. We all are both responsible to make this work. We are accountable to God. Your fellowship in the church, you are accountable to God. my leading you, I'm accountable to God. If I'm not doing what God has called me to do in leading you, then I've failed in my leadership. If you that I'm supposed to lead did not show up, or did not come to fellowship, or are drawing back, then you have failed in your area whereby you need to submit. So it's not just on my part, it's everybody's part. You play your part, I play my part, and we make everything the way that God wants it to be. Do you understand what I'm saying? So my desire is not that any of us should fall astray to the enemy. So if the pastor is struggling not to fall astray to the enemy, what do you think will happen to the people to the member of the church? Let's discuss. If the pastor is trying to hold up and not fall to temptation, what do you think is going to happen to the people that comes to church? Same. So there is no how that if there is no how that the pastor is going to be struggling and temptation left and right, and the member of the church is not going to go through the same. So how do I avoid temptation? As a member of a church, how do I avoid temptation? How do I avoid not falling? Because temptation is going to come. There is no temptation is not going to come. Because I'm a Christian now does not mean temptation is not going to come. So how do I avoid temptation as a Christian? How do I avoid it? Because one way that the enemy gets a Christian is not that it's just going to come in just like a literary lion and just come in and devour you. It comes in through temptations. When was Jesus tempted? When he was alone in the wilderness. He was tempted when he was alone in the wilderness. So when the moment that you are alone and temptation comes, if you are not strong enough as a Christian, you will fall if you're alone. But if you are in a group of believers and temptation comes, you'll be able to hold your own because you have some people that are supporting you. You have people to look at. You have people to call upon. But if you are by yourself and you are not strong enough and temptation shows up, guess what? You will fall. So even though Jesus was in the wilderness alone tempted, but because of who he is, because Jesus is not just man, he is 100% God and 100% man, he was able to overcome the temptation. Now let's look at Peter. When Peter's situation happened, Jesus said to Peter, "You will deny me 3 times." And when it happened, Peter was by himself, and it happened. So there is no one that is immune to temptation. Temptation is going to come. But the only thing that will not make you fall is, number one, if you are strong, if you have built yourself to the place whereby, you know what, I can still hold my own. But you can hold your own, but not for a long time, not for a long period of time. So when you are tempted, number one, you can hold your own, but for a short period of time, yes, you can overcome the temptation. And number two, you cannot forsake gathering with the ones that you have the same mindset of belief. You cannot forsake the gathering. Why? Because the devil is constantly looking for whom to derail. Because the moment you call yourself a Christian is after your case. The moment you announce that today, as from today, I'm a Christian, is after your case. So that is why if you go to work, the things that regular people, the things that they used to do, you can't do it. If you try to do it, but you say you're a Christian. The moment you open your mouth and you declare to them a word that I'm a Christian, that is the day your temptation starts. The things that you used to do, that you just, They'll just look at you, we're all normal people. The moment that you say to them that you're a Christian, you are no longer part of them. So some will even come to tempt you to see how you will act, how you will behave. But the moment that you are not constantly with a group of like-minded people, if care is not taken, you will fall every time that they throw those temptations at you. Temptation is going to come. So Peter is saying here, the devil is always roaming around. He's roaming around. He's like a lion roaming around seeking whom to devour. He's looking for whom to devour, and he's not looking for just the regular people in the world. He's looking for Christians. He's looking for Christians. The devil does not tempt you. Well, they go through temptation as well, but they don't see it as temptations. We see everything that is not godly, we see it as temptation. Why? Because we are seeing darkness for what darkness is. It is when you come into the light that you actually realize that, wow, what I've been living is in darkness. I have a friend, we used to party together before we gave our life to Christ. So after we gave our life to Christ, this friend of mine went out and he met a friend of ours that is still in the world. So the friend, he has smoked, he has pushed up. And when he was talking to the friend of my friend that has given his life to Christ, was now talking to the one that has not given his life to Christ. So when he opened his mouth, it's just the smell of liquor and smoke and all that. So my friend was like, wow, this is the way I used to smell when I was in the world? Is this my life? He said. So my friend said, instead of having pity on the guy that has not given his life to Christ, he said he had pity on himself. Because you don't know what darkness is until you step out of darkness into light. You will think darkness is normal. And that is what the devil wants each and every one to think. That is normal, that is a normal life. We always think, oh, it's a normal life, everybody's doing it, so I have to do it too. No. Because everybody's doing it does not mean you should do it. And that is what the devil wants to make you feel. Everybody's doing it, why can't you do it? If everybody's clubbing, you have to club. If everybody is doing this, you have to do. No. That is why you are different. That is why you're a Christian. To set an example for others to see. To be the light in the middle of darkness. So that your light can shine and people can see that, you know what, everybody is going to the left, but no, she's staying or he's staying to the right. And the moment you choose to stay to the right, hell is coming. How I wish the moment I give my life to Christ, all I will enjoy is heaven. But sometimes before you get into heaven, you have to go through hell. And the hell is just to see that if you're going to hold your own as Christian. The hell is just to make you see, are you going to hold your own? And who is releasing the hell? Devil. So if you can fall in the middle of hell, how are you going to get to heaven? So we must make sure that we are constantly in fellowship. Constantly in fellowship. Because I said we have to make sure we are constantly in fellowship. Does that now mean, okay, every Sunday I have to be in church? If you have the chance. Does that mean every time that the church opens I have to be there? If you have the chance. But because you are not in church on Sunday or on Wednesday or every other Sunday or every other Wednesday, that doesn't stop fellowship. We should still talk during the week. I want to know about you as you should be caring about me. That is what Christianity is. It's all about welfare. That's what Christianity is. I need to know what's going on in your life. Why do I have to keep running after you or keep calling you and you don't return calls. I'm just using an example. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just using an example. If we are in a relationship, just like you are in a relationship, you can't go a day without talking. That's the same way it's supposed to be when you're part of a Christian family. If something is wrong with me, if we are in a closer relationship, without me talking to you, you should be able to feel it wherever you are. You should be able to feel it. And that is the kind of family that God is looking for when it comes to church family. That the pastor should be able to feel what is going on with the member. And the only way the pastor can feel what is going on with the member is when the member is close to the pastor. But if the member is not close to the pastor, if the member is just a drive-through member of a church, there is no how that the pastor is going to be able to feel whatever the member is going through. So that is what church is supposed to be. And that is what I want this church, that is how I want this church to be. That when a member ought, the pastor in his closet should be able to feel it. That when the member is going through, without the member picking up the phone and calling the pastor should be able to sense it and just call the member and ask if the member is all right. So if anything is happening to you and you have not even called me, and I pick up my phone in the middle of the night and I call you and I ask you if everything is all right and you are going through, how will you feel? Won't you feel a sense of pride that your pastor can pick up your spirit without you even calling him, telling him what is going on with you? But you know that is not going to happen if you are not close to the pastor. That's not going to happen if you are not close in relationship, if you are not close knitted with the pastor. That is not going to happen. But that is the kind of a church I want. That's the kind of a church God wants us to be. Whereby the member can feel another member's pain. The member can carry another member's burden. Without the member even telling them that this is what I'm going through. You can sense it in your spirit that something is going on. I want us to look at something real quick. Let me see if I can find this scripture. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying though. You getting what I'm saying? Okay. Kids, are you getting what I'm saying? Okay. Alright, there is something I just want to read, then we'll go to prayer. I can't even find it because this is a new Bible. If it's my old Bible, I can easily find it. But what I'm looking for is where the Bible says we need to carry each other's burdens. Carry each other's burdens. I don't have to carry your burden until I see you. It's not until I see you that you now drop what you're going through on me. No. But if I can sense it without seeing you, and I start praying for you without you even knowing, that is me carrying your burden. That is me carrying your burden. But I can't do that if the only time I see you is maybe once in a while. No. If the only time I talk to you is once in a while. No. I want to be able to get in my prayer closet and I mentioned your name, and instantly God will just drop in my spirit what you're going through. So my prayer for you will be effective when I can get in my prayer closet and I mention your name. Because we are so close, we are so knitted in spirit, God would instantly drop in my spirit what you're going through so I can pray for it. That is how my prayer for you can be effective. My prayer for you will not be effective if I'm praying for you, if I'm praying general prayers for you. If you are going through and you need a job, but I have not seen you in a while, we have not even spoken in a while, and what you need is a job, and I enter into my prayer closet and I'm praying for you and I'm praying general prayers for you, it's not going to be effective. Like me now entering into my prayer closet and I can sense that you need a job and I start praying directly concerning that. That God, this is what I'm feeling and I'm sensing my brother or my sister is going through. My sister or my brother needs a job right now and I know that you can provide it. Can you provide him a job? Then me going in my prayer closet and I start praying, oh Lord, I want you to bless my brother. I want you to bless my sister with good health. All those is good. I'm not saying, I'm not knocking that. It's good. But when I can sense it, when God can drop in my spirit by me just mentioning your name, when I enter my prayer closet and tell me what you're going through, that can only happen when we are close in fellowship. That is not going to happen when we are not close in fellowship. That is not going to happen when all we do is once in a while. I don't want us to be a once in a while fellowship group, or once in a while that we just talk once in a while. No. Let's care for each other. Let's take care of each other. Let's help shoulder each and every other's responsibilities. And thereby we will see the love of God manifest in our midst. Amen. All right.